Bonjour Anishinaabe. Welcome to Red Mic Podcast.
Hey, Bonjour Anishinaabe, Anamikiani Kwedindijana Kaz. What's up, everybody? This is Red Mic Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas X. And today we got the boy in the building. We got special guest, Antoine. How's it going, bro?
Going good. What's good, everybody? My name is Antoine from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm up here in Red Lake with my boy. And happy to be here.
So you guys are fresh off the Spooky Szn Tour. Tell me a little bit about that. I was following on Instagram and Facebook. Like, it looked like every show was popping. What was that tour like?
Hey, man. So Spooky Szn, for years I've been talking about wanting to go on tour. I was like, man, every year I say I'm going to go on tour. I make an Instagram post. And this time I was like, man, Spooky Szn's my favorite season. So I was like, usually I get booked, and kind of got spoiled with that. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something I never did, and I'm just going to book everything myself. And I lined it up myself. I wanted to hit the Southwest. So we hit the Southwest. I started setting it up, and I hit up one of my big homies, Artson. And, I was like, hey, man, you want to do this tour with me? I want to have someone that I've toured with before, someone who knows this, how this goes. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm down to come through. I could get us a few slots, a few locations too, a few stops on the tour, if we can, collab on it and I can promote my album. I was like, let's do it. So we set it up. It was originally the Dimensions tour because I never got to tour for my album. And then last minute, I was just like, man, let's just call it the Spooky Szn Tour, just because my thing is all season. So I was like, man, something with season in it. So we did Spooky Szn and it worked out. So we ended up basing all the shows around the spooky theme. We put, just decorated every venue with like webs, and we had Lil Spooky, who's a big Frankenstein blow up with music tats on his face and stuff. It was dope. So we sold out, man. Sold out each place, and I didn't expect it, but it was a blessing, man. We killed it. Everybody killed it. We got Tia Wood to come through off Love. She's a homegirl, she made sure that, she killed her set. So it was legendary, man. Everyone that came through to show love was saying that they've never seen anything like that. And I've never been a part of anything like that. So it was a blessing to know that I put it together.
What was the show like? You got singers, you got rappers like Natani, you got Tia Wood, who's like really popping on TikTok for her singing. What was the dynamics like? Like, how would the flow go? Like, what was Tia set? Like, what was Miracle's set? Like, was they singing, powwow type of music? Was there some like R&B mixture? Like, how would the flow go with Natani coming in with the rap set? What was that like?
So the first show we got our kinks out, where it was like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Because I was wondering how it would flow. So Spur came through. Spur's an all-season artist, Spur Puya. So he came through and he was our opener. He opened it with traditional, just round dance songs. And then we had another opener by the name of Nanaba, and she's a singer out of the Southwest too. So she sang. She had a guitarist with her and she was singing. She did covers. I think she did Tennessee Whiskey, stuff like that. And then from there, we would have DJ Dramatic spin 2 songs and we get into the music. So from there, we had Raw 402, my brother from Omaha. And then we had Macchiato Music, is a collective of artists, hip hop artists from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then we had Tidro. Tidro is also all season from Omaha. We had SR, who's an Omaha artist and rocks with all season. And then we had Natani Means, Gunnar Jules, Miracle, Tia, and me. But it was a good flow. I was like, man, I want this to go like up and down. I want to take people on like on a ride where they're like turning up and then they're vibing out and turning up and vibing out. But it ended up being just after those first 2 performances, it just turned up the whole time. Miracle got on. She did her first set of her life, her first solo set with regular music in Albuquerque. And that was her first show that she made. She came late for Santa Fe, which was the night before, and she just performed Patience with me. But yeah, she did her whole set and she killed it. Everyone loved it. Kind of took everyone by surprise. And Tia's, man, just her voice is so loud. I was also wondering, I was like, how's this gonna flow? Because we're going from everyone jumping and screaming on some hip hop, then it's gonna go down to just like singing and vibing, but her voice is so loud that it just got the crowd lit. Everyone was screaming just like it was, you know, one of the hip hop artists performing. Also Artson, my brother, man. Artson, he was a co-headliner. So yeah, it was a good flow, man. Her voice made up for everything, you know. I mean, not made up, but like you would think it would go down, but it didn't go down. She kept the energy high.
Just like kept the energy from like a different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think like a little bit of the notoriety of you know, how much your music is popping right now, how like big she is, like she's like in like news articles and got millions of followers on TikTok. Do you think having that kind of notoriety was kind of creating more hype for the shows and the people were kind of bringing that energy to it?
Yeah, so the thing with Tia, she still she was like, yeah, man, like she blew up. For her, she was on one of our shows called Tea Time. It was an Instagram live, just like a late night show. She was on, and she of course she was popping. She's always been. I mean, I remember her being young, singing, you know, just always had like the limelight. But from that point last year until now, is like it went from regular to the millions of followers. And I don't know exactly when she tapped into, she's always been a singer, but now she's really taking it like 100%. Like I'm doing music. So it's cool and like an honor to say that this tour was pretty much like, I feel like her first experience in that way of touring that way, just doing show after show after show. And yeah, people pulled up and they were screaming for her, but you know, I was happy for that. I was like, man, they're here. Like, Tia, you got fans. I was talking to her before she was going on. She would get nervous here and there. I was like, you got fans. Tia, you could go out there and just say hi and they're gonna scream because they love you. And that's how it works. Like, and you got a beautiful voice. There's no way that you don't kill this. She killed it.
You get nervous before the shows?
Me, I don't get nervous, but on this tour, so before I drop Dimensions and before I drop Patience, before I drop all these videos, I would pull crowds in Albuquerque and I would pull crowds in Phoenix, like good crowds. But in my mind during quarantine, when the pandemic really hit and shut everything down, I was like, man, I don't know what the crowds are like now. I don't know how they're gonna pop out. Is it the same or is it gonna? I hope it's bigger. In my mind, I'm like, man, I feel like it's gonna be bigger. But the way it happened was like, we did it, and I was like, I need to make sure that I'm coming at in a different way this time. I don't want to be seen at all until I hit the stage. I don't want to talk to anybody till I hit the stage. So each show, that's how it was. I had an intro, eerie intro, a countdown, whoop-de-whoop. And then at that point, my boy Raw, he was hosting the tour every show. Everyone screaming, like it was something that I didn't expect, but everyone would start chanting my name. And so I would just hear him from backstage. I'd be like, damn. And then when the intro was hitting, I would open the door from backstage and come running right on, and it'd go right into my song Night Out, which is a pretty hype song. And I'd come out, and as soon as I hit the stage, everyone would scream, and it was packed. That's when I really would see the crowd, and it would be packed from front to all the way to the back. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, this is like killing what I used to bring. Like, it's the videos and the album and just the work that was put in, it paid off. So like everyone's screaming the lyrics. Before I used to be like, yeah, people were singing my lyrics, but it was like 3-4 people or like people mouthing them. But this one I can honestly say, man, everyone's screaming. They're singing the lyrics.
I've seen it. Yeah. I was watching the IG videos, like crazy, super crazy.
Cool. It was cool for just for everyone showing love. It was headlining artists. It was all headlining artists that was just showing love off of real love, And Tia, we've always been real with, since we met, it's always just been like real honest, like genuine conversation, and never know like oh, put me on. On either end of anything, it's just been like conversation. I don't think we ever had a pick. We never got a pick together. But I feel like just because it's so real, that's how that ended up happening. Same with everybody else. Tani, Gunner, Tidro, Spur, Miracle. It's just been like real love for a long time to where it's like, hey man, like I'm doing this show, I'm doing this tour, but it's out of my pocket. And I just want y'all there. And we'll have hotels and gas and food.
Mm-hmm. You just named a whole lot of artists. What artists from that list are on this Land Back project you guys got dropping real soon?
So Land Back, shout out Indian Collective. They brought the idea to me and Natani that we put together an album to push their campaign Land Back. And we did it. We brought on Gunner Jules, 2 for 1, Rolly Raps out of Rosebud. We had Live the Artist, super dope artist out of Oklahoma. Lady Midnight out of Twin Cities. We had Ekichathu from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. And we had Bear MC, and she's from the Southwest as well. Oh, and also we had a brother of ours that we ran into. It was Gunner's homie. He introduced us. We met at the mall down there. During the recording, right before the studio session, we pulled up to the mall to get some things. And then we run into one of his homies who grew up in the area of Pine Ridge, up in Rapid City. They just connected, but he lives in LA and he's, a super dope artist, and Gun said come through. So he ended up coming through and getting on some music. So it was just a collective of artists, all native artists, indigenous artists, talking about the land, talking about Land Back, everything that Land Back means. Land Back is a lot of things. It's mentalities, it's certain ways that we have. It's not a lot of, it is Land Back, but it's everything that comes with what we want back. We want our ways back. We want our old ways back. We want our traditional ways back. We want our languages back. We want our just everything, so we talk about it all there, and like talk about what it means to us, and everyone has their different meanings, and it's all like, it was beautiful to hear. So we created 18 tracks within the 2 weeks.
And this is hosted by Indian Collective?
Yeah, Indian Collective, they made it happen. And then they pretty much put me and Tommy in charge of it and said, here's some funding to bring people in, and you guys we'll pay for the studio time, for travel for people to get there, lodging, and y'all go down and kill it. So yeah, we directed it.
Dimensions was your first album?
First album ever. First project ever.
So like, I feel like, well, I grew up on albums. Like when I was young, like you get a CD, you get a tape, you listen to it top to bottom, and it's like the album means something. It's not just like this song, that song, this hit, this interlude. Like you listen to it, and like as a collective, it's got its own vibe and it's got its own story. Like what and listening to Dimensions, I feel like you were trying to do that. Like I remember you talking about, you described what the meaning behind the name of the album was and where you were at in your life. Give us some background on like the journey to creating Dimensions, and like, what it means to you, and what it means as an album as a whole.
Yeah, so the dream, long story short, because I told it a lot of times and a lot of people heard it already, but pretty much in this dream, I had a real life dream. I found the love of, I slipped into a different dimension, found the love of my life. I didn't find out it was a different dimension until the end of the dream. In the dream, it was like the 4th day, all sacred. And then
super sacred. It's gotta be the 4th day.
Yeah. So I was there, and then this girl tells me like, "Hey, this ain't a dream. You're not dreaming. You think you're dreaming right now. You're not. This is." And basically says, I could see you. I could hear you. I could hear you singing. I've been, listening to you, and like this, like we're here. I made this happen for this one time, but that door closes. You either go back or you stay here. And I, debated it. Came back. Last second, I came back, and once I went through the little the door. Then I woke up. And then in real life, I was like, man, that's not a dream. That's not a dream. I was working on an album and I was saying names that didn't hit. I had like a list of 10 names. Me and my manager at the time. And then I was like, I woke up. I just felt sad. I felt lonely. I called him. I was still half awake. He answers and I was like, Dimensions. He's like, what? Dimensions. Just remember it, Dimensions. I hung up. And then I wake up like a few hours later and I'm like, damn, that's real. Like that happened. So then I based all my music off of that because the relationship at the time was not good, toxic, going through things. So I was like, man, I want to write about this girl because it feels good. It's like, what is she like? She's probably a lot of good things. My situation now isn't that, so she's probably not this. She's that, So I started writing about all my love songs that I made at that time. It was really lovey-dovey music. People were like, hey, who's making you feel like that? I was like, this is a girl in my dream. Who is it? Bro, it's not about anybody. Like, it sounds specific, but I was like, man, I like fall time. So let me make a song called She Like. Let me tell you what she's like. She's like fall time. She's like October. That's my favorite. I like Halloween, like the spooky vibes, So all these different things. So then take it from there to now. That was 3 years ago. I came up with 3 different album track lists. One of them was like 15 songs, but none of them made it. None of them got released. And there's even a song called Dimensions, which I don't know why, but it didn't make the album. I just was so caught up in what I was creating now. But all these songs, they got, we made them. We even made cover art, all this stuff. But one time we even printed all the CDs, sold them at gatherings, at Gathering Nations. And those songs didn't make it. They didn't make anything. So I split with that situation I was with that manager in the studio. We have a little breakup, and then I'm like, damn, I'm in the dirt right now because who am I gonna work with? I had like a good flow with how we recorded, and I was used to that era, how it was. I was like, man, I gotta find that type of connection with another engineer, producer, blah blah blah. It was tough. And then I was like, man, I hit rock bottom, man. I was questioning, like, man, I don't even want to do music. I got my first job. I was blessed. So when I say this, I was blessed with going viral straight out of high school. So when I say this, it's not like, oh, he's late. I got my first job ever after that. And it was.
How'd you go viral?
I went viral off round dance singing. So I did a round dance video singing in the car, posted a little blooper of it, and it millions and millions of views. Blew up, and since then I've had fans, a lot of fans. Got 100,000 followers on Facebook from it. A lot of people still know the songs, and it was with my bro Butcher Eastman. But since then I've been in the limelight and pretty much been traveling, building, and finding my place and inspiring. Everything's always about inspiring. No matter what avenue I take, it's always like, okay, I'm for my people. No one's gonna take that. So anyway, I take it. I'm sitting there like, man, like this is the end. This might be the end. I get a job, electrician, and I'm sitting there like, damn. I remember I would wake up, look at my phone, and see people in the studio, homies that's in the studio an hour ago, and I'm getting ready for work. I'm like, damn, they're cooking, man. They're making music. And it was tough. So then I had to fight and find myself again. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this happen. Made it happen. Hit up one of my homies at the time, and I was like, rock with me, bro. Let's do this all season. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, we cutting all of that off over there though. If you rock with me, it's right here. He's like, all right, I'm with you. So then we ended up running together. We did a short run of shows, and then we ended up at gatherings where we had hundreds and hundreds of people there. It was popping, sold out on the merch, had a little come up, and it was like, this feels good, man. It's just 2 of us, but let's take on the world. And then I was like, I feel it. I'm gonna make Dimensions happen. So then I wrote, boom, 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 started writing. And then I had got picked up for a tour in Canada. Boom, made the money, made the album happen, made all that. And then I put it out. I was just like, man, this is just off the fly, man. I'm just doing this. I'm just gonna let you guys hear what I feel, and hear what I have to say. And people loved it, man. Put that album out, and then I did. My inspiration was and is Nipsey Hussle. So I listened to a lot of his interviews on how he speaks, how he moves, how he operates as far as his music and as far as like, just a lot of things, life in general. So then I'm sitting there like, man, I ain't trying to sit there and just, get point something percent of each dollar by putting it on the streaming services. You know what? Let me start my website. So it's supposed to drop on this Friday. We're sitting here on Monday and I'm like, hey bro, I hit my homie Ty up. Let's start a website. We're not dropping it on Friday on all streaming platforms. We're going to put it on my website. Boom. Website's done by Wednesday. And then we drop it. I tell everyone, look, this is if you support me, you truly support me, you'll buy this album. But if not, it's coming out in a week on all platforms. And you guys can get it for the free. and we made bank, more than I ever made on any music.
When did you start singing on the drum?
When I was little, man, I started, my dad had me in there when I was a little kid. I didn't take interest in it too much. I would just hit the drum, wanted to go run around the Powell. 13 years old, I started taking interest. My cousin Leander, cousin Richard, we're sitting there in the basement, find an old cassette tape, play it. And then we start singing it. Didn't know how to use the beat, so we had sticks in a little bucket with a towel on it. That's how we started. And we couldn't keep beat with each other, so we just rumbled, sang around that song. And then my dad saw that we were really taking it serious, and he was like, hey, man, like, here's some drumsticks. So he taught us how to make drumsticks. Made drumsticks, started a drum group called Young Nation, and then everything's up since then. My dad put me in that position, taught me, what it means to be a singer, and since then I've just been in this lifestyle of singing. Powwow, ceremony, Sundance, and just, trying to carry on these ways. So been singing ever since.
How would you say that singing at the drum, singing round dance songs has helped you become the artist you are nowadays?
It helped a lot, and I didn't realize it until I was in LA one time. I was working with an artist out there who's a really good singer, and we get on the track, and I'm like, I'm gonna do these highs on this song real quick. I lay my main vocal, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit a high real quick. I hit a soft high, and I'm okay, I'm gonna do a yelling high. Okay, and I do it, and I'm hitting it, and afterwards he's like, bro, that's that Powell singing. Bro, you just did that. And he was tripping on it, and I'm like, I guess that's not normal for other singers, to have that type of range, And for powwow singing, people don't realize how powerful the voices are of powwow singers. Because even now, man, like, I'm not the best powwow singer. It's not a competition, but I mean, that there's like singers out there that are so loud and they can sing so high and just like sing for days. So singing this way made my voice really strong, being able to last on stage, even singing, straining my voice for that amount of time. It doesn't give out as easy as other artists just because of the powwow singing. So it had a lot, man. Had a lot to do with how my music comes out now. So
you rocked the Spooky Szn Tour. You've been riding the wave of Dimensions for a good roughly year and a half now. Your YouTube page is crazy. I was going to it because I wanted to try to pull up, like, see if you got like some old stuff that's like from your early years, but you got nothing but super dope like music video, so I couldn't even like pull up like early day stuff. It's crazy right now from like somebody else who does music and somebody who just appreciates like the indigenous like an indigenous artist really making some serious waves out here. Me and you both know a ton of artists, and to like watch you do what you do is dope. And I'm sure like people have told you this before, but you kind of are like opening doors, maybe unwillingly. And right now, like I hope we have more artists that kind of take after what you, Gunner, Spur, Miracle, Tia, I hope they take after what you guys are doing, because music is always evolving, and I feel like what you guys are doing right now it's the move. It's a real good wave, and it's dope to watch y'all do what y'all do. Like, I'm happy y'all could come out here and work with our youth too. That's the reason you up here right now with Gunner and Dakota. They're working with our youth here at the Boys and Girls Club to make a song and music video. So I appreciate y'all coming up here. I appreciate, what you do, and beyond music. I know you and Natani and your group of solid, brothers have been holding it down in other ways too. Mm-hmm. So before we get out of here, let the people know your platforms and where they can find you.
Everything is on Antoine X Music, ANTOINE X Music. You'll find that on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, just everything. So yeah, follow me, add me, keep up with the music. We got a lot coming.
Maniji, thanks for coming on the podcast. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Oh yeah.
Let them know y'all ain't fucking with me, man. Let them know y'all don't want these problems, no. Let it go. I've been riding around the city with my